On suspense. Thank you. Ms. Melendez, file item 1, AB 585. You can feel free to start whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. As we ask the citizens of this great state to do their part in water conservation, it is our responsibility to make sure the government is providing every tool and incentive possible to make a severe and difficult change a little more bearable. AB 585 will create a tax credit that will encourage the installation of drought-friendly landscaping in residential properties. Specifically, this bill will allow property owner a one-time tax credit up to $2,500 or 25% of the total purchase. This would apply to any landscaping their local water authority has approved as drought-friendly. With urban landscapes taking up the majority of water use for a property, it is important that all efforts are made to conserve as much water as possible. We know this. This is further compounded by the governor's recent call for a 25% additional reduction in water use. We are currently working with the committee and the Franchise Tax Board on technical and implementation amendments that will significantly lower the cost of this bill and lower the loss of revenue to the state. I am proud to say that AB 585 is supported by numerous municipal water agencies and associations, including the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, and I do have Rosie Thompson here on behalf of that association to speak as my witness. Thank you. And I ask
Thank
for
you.
your item.
Thank you. Your first witness?
Good afternoon. My name is Rosie Thompson. I'm with the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. Just by way of background, Metropolitan is a primary water wholesaler throughout the Southern California region, providing supplies to our 26-member agencies over 6 county service territories, essentially encompassing 19 million residents. Over the past 25 years, Metropolitan has implemented a strong conservation program that has provided a cumulative water savings of over 2 million acre-feet. Last year, our board of directors began to take action that resulted in an increase of Metropolitan's conservation programming budget from $20 million to $100 million to better manage our supplies, and it was complementary to the governor's executive orders advancing conservation. The investment of these dollars has resulted in a substantial increase in both interest and participation of our conservation rebate programs, including outdoor landscaping rebates for turf removal and landscaping irrigation equipment. Metropolitan supports AB 585 because it is an additional tool that can further help water conservation. The tax credit authorized in AB 585 will provide a beneficial financial incentive to the very individuals who are responsibly investing to reduce outdoor irrigation use. As California is well into its 4th year of drought, we need to continue to seek opportunities to maximize our available resources. For these reasons, Metropolitan requestfully respects your support for the bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, I'm Ron Davis on behalf of Eastern Municipal Water District here to speak in support of AB 585. Given the fact that tomorrow we're going to have orders from the State Water Resources Control Board to reduce usage urban-wise at 25%, Eastern will be required, despite the fact that they have a very aggressive conservation program, very aggressive recycled water program, will be looking at having to cut their usage by 28%. This measure targets the most valuable tool an area for reducing water use, and it's an excellent bill that will help all urban agencies meet those goals, and we would urge your aye vote.
Thank you. Anyone else in support?
Carolyn Jensen with KP Public Affairs on behalf of Western Municipal Water District. We are also in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Olivia Regalia on behalf of Sierra Club California, also in support. Thank you.
Christopher Castree on behalf of the City of Santa Monica in support.
Thank you. Anyone else in support? Opposition? Any opposition? Okay, coming back to the committee, any questions for the committee or comments? Seeing none, then I guess my question was, in looking back at the incentive could be created in a way that incentivizes past behavior, so behavior that's already occurred. So just wanted to sort of understand your intent around that.
Well, if you look at just Southern California and how much we've already cut back in water use, and now we're asking to cut back more, and everybody across the state, of course, is suffering, but it's a difficult task, even more difficult when it's so costly to do so. So the drought is going to, once we get out of it, I'm sure it will come back. This issue of having enough water for everyone isn't going away. So this will certainly affect behavior in the future, because you put in drought-friendly landscaping and you don't have to water it in the future.
Great, thank you. Would you like to close?
I would just ask respectfully for the aye vote of the committee. I know there's a big price tag on this bill. It has been significantly reduced, but we all get the water issue. We all have constituents who could use this type of help, and this is certainly not a partisan issue. So thank you, and I appreciate the aye vote.
Very much, thank you. So without objection, we'll be placing AB 585 on suspense. Thank you. Mr. Patterson, file item 2, AB 612. Thank you. Feel free to start whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. Thank you for the opportunity to present AB 612 to you today. This is a bill which we hope will incentivize entrepreneurship, will help California be a more business-friendly state, and recognize the difficulty of small business startups and some of the burdens that California may be inadvertently leveling on them at a moment when they're most vulnerable, which is in the first year or two. We lead the way in a lot of other states in a lot of areas, but oftentimes we are, and sometimes justifiably, criticized for a taxation climate, maybe a business-friendly climate that could be improved, and this is what we're trying to do with AB 612. California currently imposes multiple taxes and fees on all business formation in the state, and it includes a minimum franchise tax of $800 per year, whether or not the business actually makes a profit. So for small businesses just getting on their feet, these taxes and fees can represent a very serious financial hardship in the early years. These taxes and fees can be a compelling reason to start a business perhaps in some other state. I think it's important for us to look at other states because nearby competing states such as Arizona, Nevada, Oregon impose minimum taxes on new business formation, but these top at $200, and that's not close to California's $800. AB 612 will create, I think, an improved business climate. It will send a clear signal. California does hear the concerns of small business, and that job creation, business formation is at the top of our priority list. It will, we believe, draw more tax-paying companies to California and will help the initiating of many small, medium-sized businesses that need the kind of help in the first year that we are, the first few years we are suggesting. I want to also just make a observation that within the state of California, the population demographics have changed dramatically, obviously. I am 67 years old and a white male. Have you noticed? But the demographics that have changed in the state of California also are economic demographics. These new entrepreneurs and these new businesses may not look like me, but they have the same kind of interest in building a business and dreaming big dreams. And so I'm asking for this body to also consider the makeup of those new and emerging and growing businesses in California. They are us, and they are increasingly representative of the body that we serve in the state in which we serve. Joining me here to help send that signal that, yes, California is open for business is Ken DeVore from National Federation of Independent Businesses. He will discuss the benefits as a witness.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chair and members. Ken DeVore with NFIB. And this bill, you hear a lot about small businesses, and they're struggling in California. Well, just to give you a little bit of data from MSNBC, they reported that during the height of the recession in California, which we're still struggling out of, small businesses closed at a rate 69% higher than the national average. So we were by far the worst of any state, according to MSNBC, at closures. So anything that we can do to help a struggling a small business entrepreneur who wants to grow their business, we all know how it's very difficult the first couple of years. And part of my passion for this comes from working in the family-owned small business with my dad. And I watched him gross $120,000 a couple of years in a row, and his take-home was $30,000. With a family with 3 kids, that wasn't a lot. Yeah, you could say he was a 6-figure earner. Well, not after all the bills were paid. And he did custom striping on cars and things, which was discretionary. When a recession hits, people quit having that done. But you still pay this tax. So any relief you can offer businesses is appreciated and will greatly benefit California's economy. We ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in support? Any opposition? Then I'll bring it back to the committee. Any questions or comments? So I guess my quick question, I'm a big believer in incentives, but I also believe in sort of that we should look for the return that we put out. I was wondering if you had, in particular Mr. DeVore, whether you had any studies demonstrating how many additional businesses would open up if we got rid of the $800 franchise fee.
That's a great question, but it is a theoretical one. We don't really have any data showing people that would be willing to open a business, but we do hear from a lot of people that it's a disincentive for them. In fact, ironically, a staffer in this building just talked to me in the hall the other day and said they're going to be closing their new internet business they started because they're not more profitable yet and they can't pay $800. So that's anecdotal, but that was
just a point. We all talk about investment and we all talk about incentive. And oftentimes, but the only way we really can know whether the incentive or whether the investment pays off is by looking retroactively, number one. So I do think that if other states, particularly those around us and who are competitive in certain areas that we are in leadership, I think that when ours is $800 right out of the chute, and Oregon is $100, $150, something like that, top end. Also, we have structured this in a narrow way to capture those startup and new businesses, and so I guess I'm making a plea for giving this a chance. We won't know unless we try. I do think history demonstrates that when the barriers come down, people will take a higher risk, and when the signal is sent that California is becoming competitive with particular competing in nearby states, the message does get out, and I think it is a positive one that I would ask this committee to favorably consider.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson.
Thank you.
Would you like to close?
That will be my close.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So without objection, we'll be placing AB 612 onto suspense. Okay. Last item of business, Mr. Mullen, did you want to be added onto the consent calendar? Thank you.
Mullen, aye.
Perfect. With that, then we'll be adjourning the Revenue and Taxation Committee today. Thank you very much.